The US government just did something that most people will scroll past and completely misunderstand. They deployed ChatGPT inside federal audit operations, reading 5 years of Medicaid records across all 50 states at the same time. They are looking for between $100 billion and $200 billion in annual fraud. That number is almost impossible to imagine. But here's the part that should stop you cold. They did not hire anyone new to do this. No new analysts, no new auditors, no new government departments, just an AI model and 5 years of documents. If you work in any field where reading, analyzing, or summarizing information is part of your job description, this story is directly about you, not eventually, right now. Let me be honest with you for a second. Most conversations about AI and jobs follow the same pattern. Someone says AI will take jobs. Someone else says AI creates new jobs. Everyone nods. Nobody changes anything. But what happened this week is different. This is not a prediction. This is not a think piece. This is the United States federal government deploying an AI model on one of the most data-heavy professional tasks imaginable and doing in days what would have taken years of human labor. That is not a trend anymore. That is a case study. Now here's the contrarian part. The part most people get completely wrong. Everyone hears this story and immediately asks the same question: is my job next? And that is the wrong question entirely. The right question is this: what is the actual skill that made this possible? Who built the system? Who wrote the instructions for the AI? Who decided which documents to feed it? Who reviewed what it found? Who translated the output into decisions? That is not an AI skill. That is a human skill. Specifically, it is the skill of directing AI toward a complex real-world problem. And right now, that skill is genuinely rare. The people who have it are not worried about replacement. They are the ones doing the replacing. Think about what actually happened inside this government operation. Someone had to understand the problem deeply enough to structure it for AI. Someone had to know what questions to ask. Someone had to design the workflow. Someone had to verify the outputs. Someone had to turn raw AI analysis into actionable findings. None of that is coding. None of that requires a computer science degree. All of it requires something much more learnable. It requires knowing how to think alongside AI, how to give it the right context, how to interrogate its conclusions, how to build a simple workflow that handles repetitive analysis automatically. That is the skill, and almost nobody is deliberately building it. If you are finding this useful, consider subscribing for more practical AI insights every week. Here is what the data is actually showing across industries this week. 94% of organizations increased AI spending last year. That comes from a global survey of more than 1,000 senior technology leaders. 94%. And yet 51% of those same leaders simultaneously said adoption is moving too fast. Too fast for their teams, too fast for their existing skills, too fast for the people they currently employ to keep up. That gap between how fast companies are deploying AI and how fast workers are learning to work with it, that gap is exactly where career opportunity lives right now. The people filling that gap are not necessarily the most technical people in the room. They are the most adaptive, the most curious, the ones who spent the last 6 months actually using these tools, not reading about them. Let me make this concrete. Imagine you work in financial services. Your team processes compliance reports, reads through lengthy documents, flags discrepancies, summarizes findings. That workflow is almost identical to what the US government just automated with ChatGPT, not in theory, this week in practice. Now here's the real question. Would you rather be the person whose exact tasks just got automated, or the person who helped design the automation? Because right now, those are two very different futures, and the distance between them is not years of training. It is weeks of intentional practice. Here is where things get genuinely practical. The skill of directing AI on complex analytical tasks starts with something simple. It starts with learning to prompt well for your specific industry, not generic prompts, not copy-paste templates from the internet, prompts built around the actual documents, decisions, and workflows inside your field. A healthcare administrator who learns to feed 5 years of patient intake forms into an AI and extract patterns. A small business owner who learns to run their monthly financial data through an AI analysis workflow. A paralegal who learns to use AI to surface relevant precedents across thousands of case files. These are not hypothetical futures. These are tasks people are already doing, this week, using tools that are either free or nearly free. And here is where Perplexity AI becomes genuinely useful for building this skill. Most people use Perplexity purely as a search tool, but its real value for career development is different. You can use Perplexity to research the specific AI workflows already being deployed in your exact industry. Ask it what AI tools are being used in government auditing right now. Ask it how AI is being deployed in legal document review. Ask it what prompting strategies are being used in financial compliance. It gives you a real-time picture based on actual sources, not training data from 2 years ago. From there, you take the patterns you find and start building small practice workflows on real documents from your actual work life. This does not require a new job. It does not require expensive software. It does not require anyone to give you permission. And here's the detail that often gets overlooked. The government operation we talked about at the start is not finished. It is expanding. They are not just reading Medicaid audit reports. This is being framed as a model, a blueprint for how AI will be used across other federal programs, which means the workers who understand how to design and oversee these kinds of AI-assisted analytical systems are about to become extremely valuable, not just inside government. Inside every organization, watching what the government just proved is possible. When governments move this publicly in a direction it signals something, every large organization watching will accelerate their own version of this. That acceleration creates demand for people who can bridge the gap between the AI capability and the practical problem. So what do you do this week? Start small. Pick one repetitive analytical task in your work life, something you do regularly, reading documents, summarizing reports, comparing data sets, reviewing records. Use a free tool, ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity. Feed it a real example from your actual work, not a generic sample, your real document. Write a prompt that describes the task the way you would explain it to a smart new colleague. Be specific. Include context. Tell it what output format you need. Run it. See what it produces. Notice what it gets right. Notice what it misses. Then refine it one more time. And again. That iteration process. That specific practice of building and refining analytical prompts on real problems. That is the skill the government just revealed has enormous value. And here is the thing worth sitting with. The story this week is about Medicaid fraud, about hundreds of billions of dollars, about federal audit operations, but underneath all of that is a much quieter revelation. The skills that used to make people irreplaceable in analytical roles are shifting, not disappearing, shifting. The new irreplaceable skill is the ability to think clearly about a problem, structure it for AI, evaluate the output intelligently, and turn that output into a real decision. That is a human skill. It always will be. And the people building it right now, deliberately, practically, will look back at this moment as the one where they made the right move. The data is showing this pattern clearly right now. What you do with that is entirely up to you. Chapters, 0 o'clock hook. Government just changed the rules, 0:45. What the Medicaid AI story actually means, 2:30. The pattern hiding inside the news, 4:15, which professional skills are losing value. Fast 5:45, the one skill that puts you on the right side. 7:15, how to build that skill starting this week. 8:30, final thoughts.